SH. So, we've been listening to a series of radio plays called Maigret, and I wanted to talk about the actual writer, Georges Simenon. I hope I'm saying it right. So, here are some things I found out about the Belgian novelist Georges Simenon. He was born in 1903 and died in 1989. He was one of the most productive and popular writers of the 20th century. He was author of more than 500 novels that were translated into dozens of languages. He was most famous for his detective novels featuring Inspector Jules Maigret. So, one thing about Georges Simenon was he was often described as a very elegant man, and he paid particular attention to his attire. His wardrobe consisted of countless types of trousers, jackets, shirts, and more than 60 pairs of shoes, all meticulously handmade. On the first floor of his house, he had a dressing room fitted with wall-to-wall mirrors, so he could observe himself in his outfit from all angles. Louis Vuitton has listed Georges Simenon as one of his most loyal customers. Clothing is also an important aspect in Simenon's fiction. His detailed descriptions of the clothing worn by Inspector Maigret constitute an important part of this character. Indeed, think of Maigret and a mental picture of an overcoat with a velvet collar, a hat, and the ever-present pipe will come to mind. So, his birthday is disputed, and the date of George's birth has always led to much discussion. As per his birth certificate, George's official birthday is February 12th, 1903. It seems, however, that he actually came into the world on the following day, February 13th. This date was considered inauspicious by the writer's very superstitious mother, was advanced by one day and recorded by his aunt at the municipal registry office in Liège. Now, George was an extremely prolific writer who produced more than 350 works under his real name. He also published over 1,200 stories using over 15 different pseudonyms such as Georges Sim, G. Sim, Geo Sim, Christian Brules, Jean de Paris, Jacques Dorson, Jean Dorsage, Luc Dorson, Georges Martin Georges, Gaston Valais, Germaine I can't say that word, Aramis, I don't know that word either, Babette, Lada Champlois, and Jemise. In 1928, he wrote 44 novels. We must not underestimate the fact, however, that Georges has endlessly produced a diversity of work, ranging from several literary genres, from novellas and short stories to hit the serialized novel, the noir genre, and some psychological thrillers, erotica, romances, crime, and adventure novellas. He has said that he wrote fast because he does not have the brains to write slow. George's incredible literary output was also due to him being a notoriously fast writer. Simeon usually wrote 6,000 to 8,000 words a day, or anything up to 60 to 80 pages, and took approximately only 11 days to write a novel. He would mark off on a calendar 8 days for composition and 3 for correction, though perhaps an urban legend, it seems that Simenon once wrote a novel in public in 24 hours while sitting in a glass cage outside the Moulin Rouge in Paris, accepting character and plot suggestions from an amazed audience. George's extraordinary production was undoubtedly linked to the strict, unvaried routine he followed for producing a book. First, he would list the names of his characters, including their descriptions, addresses, and other personal details on a large manila envelope. The plot line would come later, almost as a revelation, while writing. On the eve of the first writing day, he would meticulously prepare, polish, and change the ink ribbon of his IBM electric typewriter. He would lay out a selection of pipes, some of his special Maigret tobacco, a coffee pot, and a large cup in 2 folders, one for typescript and the other for carbons. With the phone disconnected, he would hang a do not disturb sign on the door of his study. The whole household knew that a tomb-like silence had to be observed to avoid distracting George during his creative process. On the following day, he would be up at dawn, ready to work. He wrote quickly, never consulting a dictionary and never going back to edit. By about 10:30, he would be finished for the day, his sweat drenched shirt ready to be washed for the following day for writing. In fact, his ritual demanded that he wear the same shirt until the novel was finished. So, George was also a renowned pipe collector. He owned more than 300 pipes, which he chain smoked, just like his most famous character, Inspector Maigret. George confessed smoking 6 to 8 pipes during the creation of one chapter. It seemed that smoking helped him while elaborating his novels. To celebrate this Belgian icon, the jazz bar Les Archducs in downtown Brussels has created an exclusive cocktail in honor of this author. A mix of vodka, Campari, grapefruit juice with a smoky aftertaste. Some say it is a nod towards his pipe smoking. So, George kept over 150 telephone books from different countries in his study. So when George needed inspiration for a name, George kept over 150 telephone books from different countries in his study. When in search for a name for one of his new characters, he would spend hours poring over these telephone books. He would then copy about 300 names on the famous yellow manila envelope, and then read these names out loud, over and over and over and over again, until one of them would sound right for his next chapter. So as you know, Simenon's work has been widely adapted to cinema and television. He is credited on at least 171 productions. George loved the movies, and he even considered becoming a producer in order to adapt his own work for the big screen. Simenon remains today the one writer with the greatest number of works adapted to the big screen. If one also counts other successful Maigret television series, we get an absolute phenomenal number of films. The first of George's work to be adapted for the big screen was Les Nuits Carrefour, produced in 1932 by the great Jean Renoir. The latest production of Simenon's works will be broadcasted on TV in the spring 2016, and that movie was called Maigret Sets a Trap. Will be one of 2 standalone dramatic films featuring the legendary French fictional detective Jules Maigret, played by Rowan Atkinson. So, given the number of works he has published, it is difficult to imagine Georges Simenon having time for anything other than writing. Yet, as per his own admission, George is as famous for his Inspector Maigret as he was for his sexual conquests. George claimed to have had 10,000 lovers, of whom 80% were prostitutes. Josephine Baker, a French-American dancer and actress, was perhaps one of his most famous lovers. George once said, "I literally suffered from knowing there were millions of women in the world that I would never know." For their part, George's 2 wives and several unofficial mistresses tolerated George's infidelities. It seemed that servants and other employees in George's household served a dual function. In fact, One of his last conquests, Teresa Suberlin, a Venetian woman who became Simenon's mistress for 23 years, had originally joined the household as his second wife's maid. So, this is a few facts about Georges Simenon. I think I'm saying it right. There's different pronunciations, and I am probably butchering them all. Anyways, so I thought you all would like hearing a little more about Georges Simenon because we are listening to Maigret and we're enjoying these radio plays so much. I got a lot of information about George on the website Culture Trip, and yeah, so I hope you all are having a great day, and I will see you all again soon.